I'm working on this 1961 Bolens Rear Mounted Tiller. In the last video, I cleaned up this gearbox and got it ready to mount onto the tractor. Now I'm going to get the tractor ready for the tiller. First I'll take off the belt guards on this side so I can see what's going on. This inside belt guard has to be left off when the tiller gearbox is used. I don't know if I need to use this part. This should hang on those pins, and then the back of it bolts to the frame. Now that looks good so far. This looks like it's the right linkage. It matches the picture in the manual. The cotter pin goes on the inside near the pulley. I need to disconnect this and rotate the arm down so I can get the pin in the hole. When I get a pulley and a belt, I'll disconnect the pull pin on the top to adjust it.
Yeah, what do you think of that, dog boy? Looks pretty good, doesn't it? Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
This is the pulley I got. It don't look much like the old one, but it's the same size where it matters. And this new one looks more like the one that's pictured in the manual. I have a new bolt because the old pulley used a longer bolt. Alright, that looks like that should work. The manual said it needed a 44-inch belt, so here's a new one. It's good to have a pull pin on this linkage rod. Let's see what happens. I need to move that gray part so it's not touching the belt when it's engaged. If I turn it around backwards, that looks like it might work. I can't tighten the wing nut because the bolt runs out of thread before it gets tight. I'm going to add a washer under the wing nut and it should tighten up. Okay, that should work. And it puts that part in a good position. Now the linkage is too short, I'm going to adjust it until I get the belt tension I want when it's engaged. Well, that was a lucky guess. That feels pretty good there. I'll put the pin in and that's where it'll be. Okay, now you got to worry about how the belt's going to disengage from the pulley. If I turn the engine, the belt moves with it. I need a bracket here to hold the belt back closer to the pulley. If I hold this belt back and turn the engine, the belt rises up and lets the pulley turn underneath it. Luckily, this bracket back here is in about the right place, and that has to be there. Now when I put one in front, those two together will pinch the belt so it rises up away from the moving pulley when it's disengaged. This is the manual I have for a rear-mounted tiller. I don't know if it's the correct one. The tractor pictured here is a 1959. It has a nice picture of the underside of the tractor and how everything is mounted. Over here is a picture of the gearbox and belt. Towards the top of the belt, it shows there's some belt guides. It points to two of them. One wraps around behind the pulley, almost where the gray bracket is on the 1961 tractor. The one in front of the pulley is the one I need to make now. I think I want my guide to be in this area. There's a hole back there. If it's threaded, I can use that. Upon further inspection, this hole I wanted to use is not threaded. So I'll probably use this lower bolt. I'm going to make mine out of 3/16 steel rod. I have two pins in the vise that I need to bend it around. They're 3/8 inch pins because I want my rod to fit around a 3/8 inch bolt. Now I'm looking at how far away from the end to bend it, and that's where I want a heat of that. Now I want to bend it in a different place, so I'll do the same thing again. I'm going to cut it off longer than it needs to be, because I might want to put another bend in it. I'm going to mount it with this bolt here. My slot's too wide. I'm going to add a flat washer on top of it, but I still want a better fit on the bolt. First I'll squash this looped end in the vise until I get a good fit in the back. Then I'll put it in the vise to hold that dimension on that end. Now I'll use this scrap metal to bend the two legs parallel again. That's what I want. It's kind of a snug fit on the bolt as it slides in the slot. And since I'm adding this 3/16 of an inch thickness plus a flat washer, I need to use a longer bolt. Well, let's see what happens. If I have it this way, it's too far from the belt. And if I turn it this way, it's too close to the belt. So I need to put it back this way and bend it closer to the belt. Now I'm looking at where I want to bend it at. I'll make two bends, one to move it back some, and one to get it straight again. I'm not going to bend it very far, so I'm not going to heat it. I'm going to use this antique wrench because it has wide, flat jaws. The second bend should be the opposite of the first bend, so the wire comes out straight again. Then I'll mash it in the vise this direction to straighten up that dog leg. The foot of this thing wants to be at a 45-degree angle to slide under the bolt. But I wanted the belt guide to bend towards the pulley. That's why I wanted it on that angle. Now to properly adjust this guide, you want the belt engaged. And I want a small gap between it and the belt, because the belt's going to flop around some and you don't want it to touch. And that should be it. The belt's not touching either side when it's engaged. And when I disengage it, the belt spreads out and touches both guides. And now I should be able to rotate the engine without the belt driving the gearbox. I think I can move this belt guide a little closer. If you rotate the engine till the belt makes one full pass, you should find a high spot where it comes closest, and that's when it should almost touch. The reason this works is that those guides hold the belt away from the pulley, but not until the pulley pushes the belt into them. When I disengage the belt's still touching at the top of the pulley, so the belt's still going to be moving if the pulley's moving. But watch the belt at the top of the pulley, and you'll see it rise upward away from the pulley when I rotate the engine. Now the belt is literally suspended above the rotating pulley. I can push this belt back and forth here because it's not touching the pulley anywhere. Maybe I should have done this earlier, But as long as I do it before I run it, it's not too late. There's not much in there. It's well below full, and it's thin and dirty. So I'm gonna have to change it. There's not a plug on the bottom, so it has to come off to drain it. There's a sharp sliver of metal on the edge of that threaded hole. Don't want to leave that on there. Well, that looks pretty nasty. There's a little bit of old oil and a lot of water. This is 90 weight gear oil. I'm going to tighten the bolts while I'm waiting on the funnel to drain. That's just below the hole, so I'm going to stop there. There you can see the new oil. When I move the pulley, you can see the old oil floating on top of it. I'm going to readjust this linkage a little bit. It's cold today, so I have to let it warm up. That looks okay. The gearbox don't have a load on it now, so that lower pulley keeps turning for a while after you disengage. When the tiller's on there, that'll stop turning a lot faster. I'm gonna put the guards back on. I think that's all good. Next time I'll start working on the tiller. Alright, that's it.